Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 610 based on novel. So let's start. At a different time and a different space, Wang Lin stood at this exact same spot. It was a very rare moment and Wang Lin didn't know if others had experienced this, but he knew he was experiencing it. He stood like he did when he entered the dream on planet Suzaku. He was in an enlightened state under the rain, and although his eyes were closed, the world was there in his heart. It was like a child who had left home and, after decades, suddenly saw something that looked very familiar. No matter how much the child tried, they couldn't remember where the feeling of familiarity came from. Wang Lin closed his eyes and connected the familiar feeling to the scene back in the cave world. His body became a connection that connected the cave world and the immortal astral continent. This rain is very familiar. The sound of the rain landing on the green stone slabs is also very familiar, Wang Lin muttered to himself. After a long time, he opened his eyes and looked at the mountain, temple, square, and the furnace above the square. This scene made him vaguely understand something. Life is like a dream and dream is like life. I comprehended this in the dream Dao on planet Suzaku. I know this is not the end. Wang Lin calmly stood there and didn't create any ripples. Liu Jinbiao was standing behind Wang Lin, and his eyes were filled with confusion. Wang Lin wasn't thinking silently but voicing his thoughts. When Liu Jinbiao heard this, he seemed to comprehend something. I use my left hand as life and right hand as death. My open palm is karmic cause and my closed palm is karmic effect. My open eyes are truth and closed eyes are false. I use these three things to create a world of my own. A dream world. In the illusion, I saw rain at the same location. Here in the real world, standing here, I also see rain. The world is being seen by my eyes. Because I see it, it exists. The rain made everything look hazy. Some disciples quickly traveled down the mountain and walked past Wang Lin. The rain had come too suddenly, so most disciples were not prepared. However, these people seemed to be unable to see Wang Lin and Liu Jinbiao. They walked by as if the two of them didn't exist. I use my eyes to see the world, and the grass and trees reflect in my eyes. I thought that with my eyes opened, the world was real, and if my eyes were closed, everything was fake. This was true and false, an expression of the heart. I thought that after I closed my eyes, the grass and trees would disappear. But will they really disappear? What exists and what doesn't exist? I look at the world with my eyes and the world looks back at me. When I close my eyes, everything becomes false, but if the world closes its eyes, will I become false? Wang Lin looked at the rain falling from the sky. I don't understand what Master said, but I felt that the reincarnation made me understand the second step of deception. Deceiving oneself doesn't just end once you believe it. You must make the world also believe it. To deceive yourself is, in truth, to deceive the cycle of reincarnation. Since I deceived reincarnation, then I can do as I wish. The heavens can't go against my intent and the reincarnation cycle can't stop my soul. To cheat the world, to cheat time. I didn't understand this before, but after awakening from reincarnation, I understood, Liu Jinbiao muttered behind Wang Lin. Who set the 3,000 grand Dao? Who chooses these things in the world? The Tao of deception was rejected by people as shameless, but they don't know that the Tao of deception has to be among the 3,000 grand Taos. Liu Jinbiao's dream was to make the Tao of deception one of the 3,000 grand Taos. Even in this life, he was still the same. The heavens and earth created essences, and cultivators like us cultivate essence. Master said that once you obtain an essence, you can enter the third step. In my opinion, the Tao of deception is also 3 steps. The first step is to cheat others, the second step is to cheat oneself, and the third step is to return to the source to devour yourself to deceive others. The other was just a collective name, but in fact it contained the heaven, the earth, time, reincarnation, everything. To deceive the world, to deceive time, to deceive the grand Taos of the world. Even Taos can be cheated, and I'll become a celestial. All Taos return to the same origin. My third step of returning to the origin is the same as what Master said before. If you close your eyes, does everything around you dissipate? If the heavens close its eyes, do you and I stop existing? Liu Jinbiao muttered. The confusion in his eyes from his awakening gradually became clear. It was as if thunder had light up the darkness in his eyes. His words fell in Wang Lin's ears and caused Wang Lin's heart to tremble. He vaguely understood something. Whether it was him or Liu Jinbiao, both were struggling to confirm their doubts. The path of Tao was lonely, but if one could see another's struggle, then the path would no longer be lonely, and they could confirm their own Tao. You use deception as Tao to cheat the world. I use my life as Tao to defy the world and confirm my Tao shadow. In truth, both of us are cultivating our hearts. Wang Lin closed his eyes. In my eyes, the world is my appearance. If I close my eyes, the world no longer exists. If the world closes its eyes, I still exist. If I can reach a state where I open my eyes, the world closes its eyes and the world remains dormant as long as I live, then I will have ascended. Wang Lin took a deep breath and opened his eyes. I have experienced life and death, walked through karma, and searched through true and false for me, who sank into the sea. If there is a fourth ethereal essence, it is reincarnation. This reincarnation is not the life and death reincarnation, but the reincarnation of the world. Not the lives of souls, but Tao. The reincarnation of everything. Wang Lin took a deep breath as he raised his feet and walked forward under the rain. Restrain the heavenly Tao. All souls beneath the heavens must suffer divine tribulation. Free thyself from convictions that lead only to destruction and walk the path of the true Tao. Facing the boundless unknown, all souls must resolve their questions in life and break free from the machinations of heaven. Obtain the path of life and walk the path of the true Tao. Lock down the fortune of heaven and seal the underworld. Those who do not achieve the true Tao will sink into a sea of suffering and forever lose the path of the true Tao. Walk the path of true Tao. He understood. This Tao scripture was complicated, and he barely understood it back then. However, here, under the rain on a mountain at the Donglin sect, he understood its meaning. Those who do not achieve the true Tao will sink into a sea of suffering and forever lose the path of the true Tao. All souls beneath the heavens must suffer divine tribulation. Free thyself from convictions that lead only to destruction. I have comprehended life and death, and life and death is a rope. One end is life and the other end is death. Connected together, it forms a circle. I have comprehended karma, and karma is like a net. It is a large net formed by countless lives and deaths. All lives inside would find it difficult to break free. I comprehended true and false is like a dream barrier. Everyone has a dream barrier in their heart, and when you thought you were awake, you didn't realize your world was just a dream. Everything around you is just a part of your dream. All beings are in their own dreams they can't awaken from. It is like a circle that was laid around you. When you thought you had awakened and walked out from a circle, you were just in another circle. I now have an answer to Li Qianmei's 3 questions. I connect life and death to form a large net of karma. I open my eyes in the dream and use true and false to cast the net into the dream to catch a fish. That fish is me. Wang Lin's eyes shined brightly and he walked forward. He understood that this was related to Liu Jinbiao. If not for his Tao of deception, Wang Lin would still be confused and would be unable to completely see through his 3 ethereal essences. Liu Jinbiao followed behind him and seemed to gain enlightenment. When he looked at Wang Lin, he felt like Wang Lin was different, but he didn't know why. It was as if there was a layer of fog around Wang Lin. This fog couldn't be seen, but it made him feel like he was from a dream, very unreal. However, now it was as if Wang Lin had awakened from a dream and everything was clear. This Donglin sect was very mysterious to me. The disciples almost never leave and only cultivate inside the sect. I thought this was the rule and custom of the sect. But after I entered this place, I felt something familiar and gained enlightenment about my Tao. This is related to my state of mind, but it is also related to this place. Standing on the hill, Wang Lin appeared on top of the palace. He stood there and allowed the wind to blow on his white hair and clothes. He looked down on the world, on more than half of the Dawnlin sect. From his view, the entire Dawnlin sect was extremely large. He saw the disciples of the Dawnlin sect move through the rain and many cultivators cultivating in their residences. He also saw the beauty of the mountains under the rain and the vitality of the trees. As he watched, sadness appeared in Wang Lin's eyes. Su Dao. I don't know if it was like this when you were here, but right now, the Dawnlin sect is a dead sect. All of this is just a dream. No wonder the Dawnlin sect is mysterious and their disciples rarely go out. Wang Lin let out a sigh. He closed his eyes and then slowly them. He saw the Dawnlin sect that outsiders could not see. The green mountain was no longer there. It had become a bare and dead mountain. The water was no longer clear and gave off a foul smell. Even the wind that blew by was filled with sorrow and the smell of decay. Also, the intricate pavilions were covered in dust. They had lost their sense of vitality and looked fallen. The stone steps that led up the mountains were mostly damaged. The howling wind played a sad tone. Those Dawnlin sect disciples Wang Lin had seen walking through the sect became skeletons scattered across the square, pavilions, and stone steps. They had long decayed and only skeletons remained. The Dawnlin sect disciples inside the residences that were sitting there cultivating were all the same. They were merely skeletons. This was a dead sect. There was no trace of vitality and it was filled with a powerful death aura. But there was a dream that existed over this powerful death aura. This dream contained the illusion of the countless people that had died here. It was as if the disciples of the Dawnlin sect didn't know they had died. They were still cultivating in that dream. This was also why when Wang Lin and Liu Jinbei stood there, all the Dawnlin sect disciples just walked past them. It wasn't that Wang Lin didn't exist, but they didn't exist. It would not be appropriate to call them ghosts, because Wang Lin saw no ghosts. It was only a dream that didn't know death. In this dream, even if an outsider came, they would find it difficult to notice. It was as if they had become part of the dream and had integrated with it. This place had been destroyed for countless years. He didn't know how long it had been. But he understood that people came without noticing that this was a dead sect. They stayed as guests and then left. But it was impossible for him to the first person to see through this place. Because he saw that there was a large temple at the center of the Dawnlin sect, and a powerful vitality filled with sadness silently existed there. That vitality was filled with loneliness and sorrow. It was like a child that had lost their family and all relatives. After crying for a long time in the ruins, the child silently guarded this place. With no one to accompany them, all they had left were the ruins and the dead bodies. In that loneliness and sorrow, a dream was formed. In this dream, the mountain was green and the water was clear. The sect was filled with the vitality of the Dawnlin sect disciples to accompany them. If Wang Lin had come here before he comprehended his own ethereal essences, he wouldn't have been able to see anything. But at this moment, he saw it and he let out a sigh as he closed his eyes. When the wind passed, he opened his eyes and the death and decay disappeared from the Dawnlin sect. Instead, it was filled with life as the countless disciples moved about. "Let's go," Wang Lin slowly said and then walked forward. Liu Jinbei couldn't see the change here, but he could feel that something was wrong. He followed behind Wang Lin. Moving forward, ripples echoed around Wang Lin. Other people couldn't see these ripples. This was Wang Lin allowing himself to become part of the dream. When he and Liu Jinbei landed, 2 rays of light flew over from the distance, revealing 2 cultivators, 1 man and 1 woman. These 2 cultivators were very young. The man was very handsome and quickly showed his respect. The woman next to him was very beautiful and looked at Wang Lin with a curious gaze. Senior, Junior came under orders from the ancestor to invite Senior to the Dawnlin temple. The young man smiled and clasped his hands. His words were very respectful and so was his expression. The woman beside him also clasped her hands, and her gaze swept by Wang Lin. Wang Lin looked at the 2 Dawnlin sect disciples before him. He let out a sigh in his heart as he revealed a gentle expression and nodded. Under the guidance of the Dawnlin sect disciples, Wang Lin flew toward the center of the Dawnlin sect. The Donglin sect was very large, and along the way, Wang Lin saw the Donglin sect filled with vitality. He also saw many cranes flying in the sky. On the ground, whether it was the alchemy yard or the residences, there were disciples sitting there, cultivating or chatting. When the wind blew, it was filled with dense celestial energy, as if it was a paradise. Along the way, Wang Lin saw Donglin sect disciples who passed by him introduce themselves and clasped their hands at him. The people of the Donglin sect were very gentle and very polite, as if Wang Lin was a treasured guest. When they got close to the Donglin temple at the center, 2 rays of light closed in. When they arrived before Wang Lin, a hearty laughter echoed. Dongkun, Xiao Yang, the 2 of you can leave. The laughter echoed as 2 cultivators were revealed inside the 2 rays of light. The speaker was an old man, and beside him was a middle-aged man who smiled and clasped his hands at Wang Lin. The 2 of them were golden exalts and extraordinary. The old man's hearty laugh echoed as he clasped his hands toward Wang Lin. My name is Xu Tianyan, the head elder of the Donglin sect. I'm on the ancestors' order to invite Senior to the Donglin temple. Junior is He Dao, the Donglin sect master. Greetings, Senior. The middle-aged man smiled and was very polite. Looking at the 2 of them, Wang Lin's eyes were filled with sadness. What kind of loneliness would make someone create a dream to accompany them? Wang Lin sighed and said to the 2 of them, let's go. The 2 golden exalts accompanied Wang Lin and gave him respect worthy of his status. They came to the center of the Donglin sect, the holy land of the Donglin sect, the Donglin temple. The old man clasped his hands at Wang Lin and respectfully said, the ancestor is inside. We don't have a summon and therefore can't go in, so, Senior, please proceed on your own. Wang Lin nodded and looked at the door of the Donglin sect. In truth, after he had seen through the dream, he could have come here himself and walked through the ruins to this temple filled with sorrow. There was no need for him to talk to some illusions from the dream. But he didn't do this, as he could feel the sorrow and loneliness. He respected the Donglin sect's old ancestor, and what he got was the respect of the Donglin sect's old ancestor. Jin Biao, wait for me outside, Wang Lin softly said before walking toward the Donglin temple. Liu Jinbia respectfully nodded and subconsciously looked around. He felt like something about this place was strange, but he couldn't tell what was wrong. Wang Lin slowly walked toward the Donglin temple. Once he completely entered the temple, an ancient voice filled with loneliness and sorrow echoed inside. You came. In the temple, directly before Wang Lin, there were 3 large statues of 2 men and 1 woman. They were all looking toward the east with smiles, exuding an aura of pride. Under the statues, there was an old man wearing a grey robe. His face was filled with brown spots, like a mortal who was in his twilight years. His expression was miserable and was filled with endless sorrow. Aside from the sadness, there was a powerful aura buried deep inside his body. This aura was beyond that of any Empyrean exalt Wang Lin had met. I'm here, Wang Lin let out a sigh and walked up to the old man. He sat down and waved his right hand to take out a jug of wine. Want some? Wang Lin handed the wine jug to the old man. The old man silently pondered for a while. He then took the wine jug and took a sip. I feel a familiar aura from you. It should not be your first time here. The old man looked up at Wang Lin. I came in a dream. Wang Lin took out a second wine jug and took a sip. The old man looked at the great temple in the distance and slowly said, perhaps. I have sat here for a very long time. Perhaps you really came here in your dream. The old man softly asked, was the Donglin sect in your dream the same as now? The same. When Wang Lin looked at the old man, he could feel his sadness. Thank you, the old man closed his eyes. 2 lines of tears flowed down his cheeks. With his cultivation level, he should not know what tears were, but when Wang Lin said, the same, the tears just flowed down. I have been sitting here for a long time. You're the only one who has given me a sense of familiarity. This is my home. I left a long time ago, when I became an ascendant Empyrean, and when I came home, it was already like this. The old man opened his eyes, and they were filled with dense pain and sorrow. Wang Lin silently pondered. I don't know who did it. I can't find out. Not even Grand Empireans can find out. I can only sit here with my memories and create this dream, allow this dream to accompany me and let the Donglin sect to exist, until the day I die, the old man whispered, his voice turning hoarse. Wang Lin looked at the old man and didn't speak. What kind of emotion could make a person like this? What kind of sadness could make one deceive themselves with a dream? What kind of loneliness would make a person create an illusion to accompany them? If Wan still can't awaken. If Ping can't open his eyes. If planet Suzaku was destroyed. Perhaps I would be like him. A person sitting in the void in his own cultivation planet, numbing myself with a dream. In that world, there would be my parents, me, Wan, Ping, and all the faces I'm familiar with. If that day really comes, perhaps I will do the same. The old man suddenly spoke, and what he said caused Wang Lin's heart to tremble. Lock down the fortune of heaven and seal the underworld. Those who do not achieve the true Tao will sink into a sea of suffering and forever lose the path of the true Tao. Walk the path of true Tao. This was written on a stone tablet with the blood of my Donglin sect by the culprit. Over the countless years, I have studied this line. I want to know who destroyed my Donglin sect and what his thoughts were. My Donglin sect never entered disputes with the world and has always had strict sect rules. Disciples rarely go out, let alone create feuds with others. Even I have a lot of friends and focus solely on cultivation. Even so, the Donglin sect, my home, was destroyed. I went to a Grand Empyrean to help me divinate, but even they couldn't divinate the cause of my Donglin sect's destruction. I visited the 5 Grand Empyreans and even the Imperial teacher, but none of them could find anything. Only the Imperial teacher coughed out a mouthful of blood during the divination, and his eyes were filled with fear. However, that fear lasted for a moment and then was replaced with confusion. He was confused for 3 days, and I watched him for those 3 days. When he became sober, he had forgotten what he had divinated for me. It was as if an invisible force had wiped away his memories of these 3 days, the old man murmured as his sad eyes revealed unimaginable hatred and madness. I can't understand that stone tablet, but I imprinted that handwriting into my soul. It is my only clue to finding that person. After a long time, he said in a hoarse voice, "Do you want to look at the stone tablet?" Wang Lin calmly nodded. The old man with his eyes closed seemed to be able to notice the nod. He raised his right hand and waved. With this, an aura of death quickly filled the temple. It was as if the temple had aged countless years. It went from its state of glory to a state of decay. The temple was covered in dust and there were cracks on the pillars. Even the 3 statues behind the old man changed and became broken. Cracks appeared on the ground under the old man, showing signs of ruin. This wind of decay spread out across the entire Donglin sect, with the temple as the center. Outside the temple, the square was broken and the decay spread. The mountains were no longer green and became dead. The water was dried up and what water remained gave off a foul smell. The Donglin sect disciples, including the 2 golden exalt cultivators, disappeared without a trace. The entire Donglin sect became a dead land. Only those skeleton-like corpses filled the entire sect. Liu Jinbao stood outside the temple and stared at everything before him dumbfoundedly as his pupils shrank. Now he knew why he had such a strange feeling. Beside him was a skeleton that seemed to be looking at him or at the sky. A huge, stone tablet standing outside the Donglin temple was swept with the wind of decay. It was more than 1,000 feet tall and seemed to appear out of nowhere. There was a line of words in blood on the stone tablet. Lock down the fortune of heaven and seal the underworld. Those who do not achieve the true Tao will sink into a sea of suffering and forever lose the path of the true Tao. Walk the path of true Tao. The words written in blood were no longer bright red but had long dried into dark brown. An aura of terror spread out from the stone tablet and shrouded the entire Donglin sect. The sky darkened as if a large hand had covered the sun above the Donglin sect. It was as if this force was blinding the heavens themselves. This is the stone tablet. The old man stared at the stone tablet outside the temple behind Wang Lin. Wang Lin turned around and looked at the stone tablet. When he saw the stone tablet, a thunderous rumble echoed inside his head. He had seen this stone tablet before. He had seen it inside the seven-colored realm in the cave world. He originally thought that the stone tablet in the seven-colored realm was something the sovereign had set up, but it seemed like it was completely different from what he expected. What shocked Wang Lin was the handwriting of the words on the stone tablet. The more he looked, the more familiar it felt. It was as if he had seen someone personally write it. Handwriting could be imitated, but the aura from the handwriting was extremely difficult to imitate. Wang Lin was not only familiar with the handwriting, but he was also familiar with the handwriting's aura. All-seer. Wang Lin was startled. How could he forget this aura? This was a person he dreaded greatly in the cave world. This person was part of the heavenly Tao, and he had already been destroyed by Wang Lin, but Wang Lin suspected that the All-Seer wasn't dead. The handwriting and aura here were not the same as the ones on stone tablet inside the seven-colored realm. However, the appearance of the stone tablet caused Wang Lin's understanding of the cave world to blur. Cave world. Immortal astral continent. Donglin sect. The only thing that connects the three places is the seven-colored celestial sovereign. But his soul was divided into three and they were sealed by me. The third soul is Su Dao. I even came to the Donglin sect in the cave world. But why? Why did this line appear here? This stone tablet, why does the cave world have this stone tablet as well? What the hell is going on? As Wang Lin looked at the stone tablet, confusion appeared in his eyes. Who destroyed the Donglin sect and left this stone tablet here? The handwriting and aura belong to the All-Seer, but how did he come to the immortal astral continent and why did he destroy the Donglin sect? Also, the seven-colored celestial sovereign. I thought he was dead, but is he really dead? The cave world is definitely not that simple. What kind of secret is hidden inside? I thought I had learned everything back then, but was what I learned merely the edge of the hidden truth? I stood on the peak of the mountain and thought I saw the world, but I didn't know that there was a pair of eyes in the sky behind the mountain, looking at my world. Wang Lin instantly felt a chill. If you have seen this handwriting and aura in your life, please tell me, the old man's hoarse and sad voice echoed behind Wang Lin. You must tell me. If I can take revenge, then I'm willing to become a slave until I die to those that provide me with the clue. The old man spoke slowly and his words were filled with startling faith and determination. After the old man spoke, he waved his right hand and a breeze blew by. The temple returned to its original appearance. The mountain was still green, the water clear, the birds sang, and the fragrance of the flowers filled the sect. The disciples that didn't know they were already dead lived happily in the Donglin sect that was filled with vitality. The stone tablet outside the temple disappeared and the piles of bones could not be seen. Liu Jinbei looked at where the stone tablet was, and he felt his hair standing up. This? What kind of damn place is this? Liu Jinbei's heart skipped a beat as he looked around. When he looked at some of the Donglin sect disciples, the feeling of fear became even stronger. In the temple, Wang Lin didn't reveal any of the shock he had felt in his heart as he answered calmly, I will. The old man looked at Wang Lin. After a long time, he lowered his head and hid the sorrow and loneliness in his eyes. However, even with his head lowered, it wasn't able to dispel any of this sadness. The old man said with a hoarse voice, Did you pass by the Donglin sect, or did you come with a purpose? I want to borrow the Donglin pool. Wang Lin suppressed the waves in his heart. These things gave him a strange feeling and shocked him at the same time. Donglin pool, the old man pondered for a bit and then gently nodded. The water in the Donglin pool is connected to the soul sealed in the Great Sage continent. The soul sealed here is not a beast, but a foreign cultivator. This person lost to the celestial ancestor and was sealed here. He has long died, but his soul didn't disappear. Instead, it fused with the underground river in the continent. The Donglin pool is one of the places it flows out from. A cultivator can only enter the Donglin pool twice. Once you enter for the third time, you will immediately die. Not many outsiders know that Donglin sect has the Donglin pool. Those that know would pay a great price to be allowed to enter the Dawn Lin pool. Rumors outside and even inside the sect say that the Dawn Lin pool can help form Essence true bodies, but that is false. If that was the case, my Dawn Lin sect would have long become the #1 sect of the Celestial clan. We also wouldn't be able to keep it, and the Dawn Lin pool would have long been taken by a Grand Empyrean. Even so, it has caused a lot of concern, but on the reputation of the Dawn Lin sect's first ancestor, Grand Empyrean Dawn Lin, and the fact the pool can't be moved, and how the effect weakens with the passage of time, no one has come to steal it. Grand Empyrean Dawn Lin. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. It was the first time he had heard this name. The Celestial clan's 5 Grand Empyreans aren't eternal, and some fall. My Dawn Lin sect's first-generation ancestor was a Grand Empyrean, but he fell. No one even knows where his body went. Many people have searched for his body, including some of the later Grand Empyreans, but no one could find it. There was a rumor saying that if one can find the ancestor's body, it is possible to become a Grand Empyrean without going through the test in the immemorial God realm. But this is just a rumor, the old man calmly said. Wang Lin took a deep breath. He didn't expect the Dawn Lin sect to have such a background, and a Grand Empyrean had appeared in the sect before. The effect of the Dawn Lin pool is very weak now. The rumor is that it can help you form an Essence true body, but the real effect is to put you into a strange state, and then you will have a certain chance of comprehending the special essence that belonged to the foreign cultivator. If it fails, it will only make your essences a bit stronger. This video will end here.